Hey guys,
it's Lara,
and Orla,
and this is The Something Show. And you've probably never heard of us before because this is our first episode of hopefully a successful, long-lasting series. And basically, we just decided to start now because when we were 7 or 8, we used to take videos of just us trying to entertain you.
On the bus. It was bad quality, not really interesting. So we just decided, why not we do it today with hopefully an interesting stories.
Story topic, yeah. So the topic that we're going to be doing today in our first episode is people with the dumbest, most stupid reasons to call 911. Yeah, so Orlana's just going to start off with her story, and bear in mind, neither of us have heard each other's stories, and we're just reading off of our iPads. So Orlana's just going to start.
Alright, so I'm starting off with John Triplett, who was an unemployed and apparently very lonely man. He called the police 27,000 times because it was free, and he wanted someone to talk to. He now faces fines and jail time.
Because he wanted someone to talk to?
Yes.
He could have literally walked out of his house and spoken to someone.
Exactly. So he just...
27,000 times.
Yeah.
How much credit is that?
Well, it's free.
Oh, right.
It was free.
Yeah, but it's free to call them, but it's not probably not free for him.
Yeah.
Unless it's also
it's against the law because other people could be calling. Yeah.
That's probably really sad. But he could have also just prank called people or just call people and said I would Also, isn't there services that you can call and just say hi, I would like someone to talk to?
Yeah, there is actually.
Wow. Okay.
So that's one.
Does it say how much money he owes now?
No, it doesn't. Okay. Sadly.
I can only imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
Number 2.
So here, a Canadian woman dialed 911, the police, after hearing yelling and shouting coming from her neighbor's apartment. When the cops arrived, they pounded on the door until the occupant finally opened up. And that's when they discovered that the man was in no danger. He'd just been having a rough time on the toilet. So someone called the police complaining that their neighbor was making too much noise.
Oh,
and then they stormed into his house, and he was just on the toilet, having a rough time.
Oh, God. That's so embarrassing.
For him. And also, imagine the neighbor, because she might have thought that there was, domestic violence or something going on.
Jesus. Was the neighbor who called the police fined or something?
Fined? I don't think so, because it might have been a genuine problem, but she just didn't know it.
Wow. What could they have been doing to make someone call the police? Oh.
But, in all fairness, the neighbor that called the police only really heard screaming. She didn't know what was going on.
Oh, no. Jeez. Lord have mercy on your soul.
Okay. Next story.
Okay, so this one is a 4-year-old called emergency services when he was unable to do a math problem. The dispatcher actually helped him with his math, but 911 should never be used unless it's a real emergency.
Yeah, I actually like stories like this where little kids, I know it's it's a waste of their time and they could be doing something more helpful. But at the same time, I really like it when little kids call the police and say that they're having trouble with something.
Yes, and actually at the end of the call, I heard an audio from another video, where at the end of the call, the mother was actually very mad with the kids. So the mother just ended the call and was like, "You shouldn't be doing that."
It's probably as expected though. I mean, you're a mother and you see your 4-year-old son, or just 4-year-old, just calling the police about maths. But
yeah, it was very nice of the dispatcher to actually be helping.
Yeah.
Because I heard the audio and it was like, okay, so what is it?
Also, we can't put the audio here for two reasons. Sorry. One, we're not good at editing. and 2, pretty sure would get copyrighted, but doesn't matter. So the next story. So a burglar in Shelby County, Ohio, was called by police after he accidentally butt dialed 911 while breaking into a home. And making matters worse, the crook hid in a closet, and my iPad just turned off, sorry. So the crook hid in a closet but was ratted out by his phone yet again when the low battery alarm went off.
Oh no.
He should have. Okay, first of all, you should always keep your phone charged, especially when you're robbing a house. Second of all, how can you butt dial 911?
Yeah. What
are the chances of butt dialing that exact number
you should be
while you're robbing a house?
Organized, you know?
You know, we're not actually giving genuine information here, like what you should do to rob a house. We're just saying this guy wanted to be genuine. He should have. Do your research. You know, stay organized. Okay, next story.
Okay, so in Sarasota, a man about to be pulled over tried to distract officers by calling 911. The man's plan seemed to work briefly. Other officers, however, followed him into a parking lot and he was arrested.
Wait, what? Wait, he was being
pulled over. So to distract the police officer, he called 911. And it actually worked.
Oh, so he called 911 and then the guy that was pulling him over had to answer the call.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of smart, but it's also not good.
Yeah. Because he was already caught, okay? He was already caught, and it wasn't going to work. It was a nice...
Sometimes you should just, admit. You should just let go. You should let yourself be taken away by the police. You're already being caught. Just don't do anything. Okay, next story. So after making numerous calls to 911, a London, Canada, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is, man was warned that the next one would land him in jail. So that prompted him to reveal his real reason for calling. So he said, "If you're coming to get me," he told the dispatcher, "can you bring me some smokes?"
Oh,
so
wow.
Basically, he called the police multiple times to eventually get them to come over to him and bring him cigarettes.
Okay. How could you even think that would work? Like, do you know what happened to him after?
Doesn't say.
What? What? Couldn't he have asked, I don't know, a neighbor? I don't know if he had neighbors, but someone
I don't understand.
nearby?
Why can't he even do it himself?
What?
Okay.
Maybe he didn't have enough money. I don't know.
But he has a phone and he has enough credit to call the police.
It's free.
It's free. Okay. Next story.
All right. So this one is when a Florida McDonald's ran out of McNuggets. 27-year-old La Teresa Goodman called the police. After paying for the nuggets, she was discovered that they were all out, but the restaurant refused to give her a refund. They asked her to pick something else.
Okay, I don't agree that that's a stupid reason to call 911. They're not willing to give her a refund for she pays for something. They say, "Oh, sorry, we don't have it." She should be allowed to get her money back.
Exactly.
They shouldn't say you have to pick something else.
Yes, I do believe I did actually hear the audio of this one as well.
Once again.
Yeah. So this lady, she was really outraged and...
I don't blame her, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, next story. So, when a British man saw a mysterious flying object that lit up the sky, he immediately called the authorities. But before the police could react, the man called back, saying that the mystery was solved. The UFO was actually the moon.
Oh, how could you mistake a UFO for the moon?
Okay, first of all, isn't it supposed to be an unidentified flying object? The moon is
not.
It looks like it's in the sky, but it's not flying. I'm pretty sure it's identified. I mean, it has its own name. And
people have been on it.
I guess you could call it an object, but Okay.
How? I mean,
maybe,
at least he called back.
He might. To just at least he called back and he said, "I'm sorry. You know, I realized it was the moon." He might have been a bit tipsy. He might have.
True. He could have maybe just said a little white lie.
Maybe,
like,
no,
it was maybe something else. It's gone. I don't know.
Maybe it could have been that there was like clouds around it, making it seem like it's forming a different shape.
Or when I was little, I used to always see in the car, like I would always look up at the moon, and it would always be like, "Oh my God, the moon is following me." Okay, so.
Okay.
So. In China, a woman called emergency services because her boyfriend would not warm up her feet. The woman's boyfriend also called the police, complaining that his girlfriend was too demanding. When police arrived, the officer convinced the man that it was his job to warm up his girlfriend's feet.
Okay, what the heck?
Okay, I don't understand to this day, like, why would a police officer, force a man to give his girlfriend a foot massage or warm up her feet?
Okay, first of all, they don't need the police. They need relationship counseling or therapy. And second of all, I can't actually believe the police genuinely responded to that, came over to the house, and then on top of all of that, they convinced the man it was his job to warm up his girlfriend's feet.
Exactly. Like, this is just too crazy. Why are you still with this person? I don't know.
Because they're not warming up your feet.
What even?
No, but okay. I mean, first of all, he shouldn't have called the police. Well, okay, I'll start off with her first. She shouldn't have called the police because he wasn't heating up her feet. Okay,
100% shouldn't have.
Get socks. Get Get slippers. If it's really late at night, I don't know. Just shove it under a blanket or something.
Yeah, you could ask your boyfriend, "Hey, can you warm up my feet?"
If he says no, oh well.
Okay, bye. Have a good day. But no, don't call the police, people.
Especially,
please.
And then him afterwards calling the police saying that his girlfriend was too demanding.
It was a better case.
It was a tiny bit of a better case, but still. I wouldn't consider it justified.
Yeah.
Okay. So here I have, a Romanian man called police to report hearing a strange noise in the house he happened to be robbing. And police arrived and arrested the man, who, as it turned out, was the only one in the house, aside from the owner's noisy cat.
Okay, wow.
There isn't much to say here apart from well done.
You turned yourself in. Okay.
Basically, and he calls. I actually genuinely wonder what the audio sounds like of the call.
What?
He's calling them and he's saying, "Oh hi, yeah, I'm currently robbing a house and I hear noises. Can I have some help? Can I have some backup?"
Here's a better idea. So you go into this house to rob it. Okay, you hear nasty sounds, whatever. You leave. Don't come back. You obviously don't care about this house because you're robbing.
In the first place, why are you robbing it? I mean, okay.
Jesus, you have your hobbies, bro.
I can't believe that one. That one is the most outrageous in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, next one. A Fort Worth woman called dispatchers because a local restaurant didn't put enough shrimp in her fried rice. The restaurant offered a refund, but the woman denied it. Police officers came the next day, but the woman was gone.
Okay.
Why don't you just call the manager of the restaurant? Or
no. Don't even call the manager. The restaurant offered a refund.
Oh my God.
They offered a refund and she said, "No, I don't want a refund." Yeah, okay, sorry.
So, I don't get it. I mean, okay, fine. Maybe she didn't take the refund because she wanted to still eat. Okay? But why didn't she just maybe pay a bit more to get some more shrimp? Or take a different serving, another serving. Pay for two. I'm not call the police.
This doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so here, this is my last one.
Last one.
Oh, was that your last one?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the very last one. So, a man named Gregory Jackson, sir. sorry.
Sure.
Called 911 a total of 9 times, and he was demanding a cheeseburger. Is cheeseburger really worth the fines and jail times that he got for the misuse of 911? Sorry. So he called him 9 times, demanding a cheeseburger.
9 times.
As much as I would like to do that, I don't think I would.
Why not? Okay. So where was this?
Wait, sorry, let me just fix the lighting. There, okay.
Yeah, great. So, do you know where this is?
It doesn't say where.
Okay, so in this day and age, okay, normally there is a McDonald's, Quick, whatever, all around.
Burger King,
all around, everywhere. So why don't you just, I don't know, go down the street, go a couple blocks away, just to go to that restaurant, to just ask for one.
But not only that, he called them 9 times. No, by the time that he's called them 9 times demanding a cheeseburger, he probably could have gotten one and caused no one a hassle.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have paid, like, I don't know, $5 or less.
Yeah.
But it's not that much money, considering he called them 9 times.
For a cheeseburger. To be honest, he was tipsy or something.
I think, well, it doesn't say that, but he probably was. I think he wasted more time than he would have wasted money.
True. Same. On the same page. Here we go.
Okay. So we don't have any stories left. This is basically our first video. Hopefully not our last.
Fun. Yeah.
It's been fun. Obviously this isn't our job. Like, we're not that old yet. But yeah, we still have school, so probably going to be a bit hard to shoot another one. But, I mean,
if you guys enjoy it, we'll find the time to get a few more ideas and do one for you. Just tell us in the comments if you like this one.
If anyone actually even sees this.
Yeah, no one's going to like us.
Probably. We're probably wasting your time. Also, we're going to try and work on finding something to do for the outro instead of just...
Yeah,
because you know how Red and Link, they have like a nice mythical wheel? We're not going to do that, by the way. We're not going to steal their ideas. Mm-hmm. They're good people. Don't want to steal their ideas. Good people. But we're going to try and think of something original to do at the outro.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So right now we don't have an outro. We're just going to say bye.
Bye. Thank you